Hi crochet besties, welcome to my YouTube channels. Though I know I've not been posting for a while now, so I say thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for waiting to this time again, and I say thank you to my amazing follower. We are 600 plus followers, and I say thank you for having you on board. I'm so excited to have you guys. My name is Gifted, which is Gifted Crochets and Beads. So in this tutorial, I'm going to put you through on how I make this beautiful gown here. You can also see it on the screen over here. You can see it there. So I'm going to take you through the process, a step-by-step tutorial a beginners can make. It's very simple and stylish. You can put it on long sleeve like the way I'm putting on mine. You can also put it on with stylish with a just a top, whatever way you want it. Very simple and easy to make. So the measurements you are going to take for it, just for your shoulder part measurement, like the way you can see it on the screen now. Then your measurement, that is from your shoulder here to your under bust, then your shoulder to your back. The next measurement you are going to take is your bust measurement. Then after taking your bust measurement, you are going to take your full length measurement from here to this. That is the measurement you are going to take, and this is how the back side look. So that is the back side. You can see how it is. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because we still have a lot of beautiful things to make. So don't forget to like my video, share to those people that you know you love to make this beautiful dress. So let's get straight to the tutorial.
So these are the materials you'll be using: measuring tape, elastic band, need our needle, which is 4.5 millimeter wood, 4.5 millimeter wood, and scissors and needle, sewing needle, then stitch marker, and this our yarn. We are going to use this color, which is sky blue color. This yeye yarn, which is yeye legura, which is 4 gram, and is 3-ply. This 3-ply. So I'm going to double split this strand. It will be 6-ply because a strand is 3-ply. So for me, doubling this strand is going to give me 6-ply. So I'll be using this yarn. So let's start.
So for to start, we are going to make the measurement, which is from the neck to the shoulder. So neck to the shoulder, my measurement is 3 inches. So you're going to make yours also. If yours is 3 inches, then fine. So you're going to take the measurements from your shoulder to your neck to your shoulder, which is 3 inches. I'm going to make a chain that will be up to 15 chains that will up to 3 inches. So this is my knot. I've already made my knot. So you're going to start counting your chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15. So this is my 15 chain now. So you are going to yarn over, then into the first chain there, you work in there with your double crochet. So you pull through, that is your double crochet. Then yarn over the next stitch, you work in there with your double crochet. That is 2. Then the third, your 3 double crochet in each stitch. Then you chain, then yarn over, then you skip, yarn over, you skip a chain, then into the second chain there, you work in there with your 3 double crochet. 2, then 3, then you chain 2, 1, 2. So into that same stitch again, you work in there with your 3 double crochet. 1, 2, then 3. So I have my shell stitch now. Then yarn over, you skip a stitch, then into the second stitch there, you work in there with your double crochet. Then the next double crochet, the next again double crochet till you have your 3 double crochet. So this is how it looks. Then yarn over, you skip a stitch again, then inside the second stitch you make your self stitch again by working your 3 double crochet in the stitch. This is my 1, then 2, then 3. So that is 3. Then you chain 2, 1, 2 into that same stitch again. You work in there with your 3 double crochet. That is my self stitch. 2, then 3. Yarn over, you skip the stitch here, and into the second stitch you work in there with your 3 double crochet. In each stitch you make your 2 double crochet in each stitch. This is 1, the next stitch again, that is 2, and it's a third one. You work in there with your double crochet. So this is how my first row is, because the front panel is going to have 2 parts. The front panel, I'm going to divide the front panel into 2 parts. So this is the half part, and we're still going to make the other part of the front panel. So with this half part of the front panel, you are going to use it to make the second part. So you have to focus on this, so that, because I'm not going to show you the process of how you're going to make the second part, with this you are going to make the second part. So this is the half part of the front panel. Then this is it. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you turn your work. So this counts as a stitch. Okay, then you move to the second, you work in there with your double crochet, then move to the second, the next stitch again, work in there with your double crochet. So yarn over, you are going to skip this 3 stitch, 1, 2, 3. You are going to skip it, then into this chain space there you work in there with your shell stitch, which is your 3 double crochet, 2, 3. Then you chain 2, 1, 2. In that same stitch again, make your 3 double crochet. That is your shell stitch. 2, then 3. See? Then yarn over. You skip this 3 stitch. Then move to this stitch here. You skip this 3 stitch. Then into the next stitch there, you work in there with your double crochet, the next double crochet, the next double crochet. You see that? Yarn over, you skip this 3 stitch again, you work into your same stitch, you make your 3 double crochet, then chain 2, then make your 3 double crochet in that same stitch again. That is your shell stitch. 2, that is 3. Then yarn over, you skip this 3 stitch, then you work your 3 double crochet on the 3 double crochet there. So the last stitch here is like this. It's going to be, then into the third row you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. The third row you continue, you repeat the same stitch again. This count as a stitch, then you move to the second stitch, so you continue to get to the end. So I'm done with my third row, first, second, third row. So I'm going to keep on working the same stitch, you get to row 7. Okay, we are still trying to work on the armhole, to get the armhole. Okay, I'm also trying to make the V neckline. That's why we are going to have different parts of the front panel, half of the front panel, another half of the front panel, and in the process we're also making the space for the neckline, and also having space for the armhole. So the measurements for my armhole is 20. So when you say 20 divided by 2, it's going to give me 10 inches, right? So I'm going to have my armhole, which should be 10 inches. Okay, so you're going to measure your armhole, how many, whatever inches you are going to half for the armhole. That is what we are going to make for half of the panel before we start joining it. Okay, so I'm going to continue making this length, this half of the panel, till I get to my armhole measurement. Okay, so right now we are going to keep on working this stitch to get to row 7. This is row 3, so we have 4 more rows to go to make it row 7. So you keep on working this same pattern to get to row 7, then I will meet you there.
I've gotten to my 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is my 7 rows. You can see that. For you to take the measurement, it measures 4 inches, 4 inches, and this is from my shoulder, to my upper bust. So shoulder to my upper bust. This is my length. So if yours is from my shoulder to my upper bust is 4 inches. So if yours is 3 inches, make sure that you're going to make it up to 3 inches. So maybe you're going to make 5 rows or 6 rows. You should be your 3 inches. So since mine is 4 inches, that is more reason I make it to 7 rows, which give me exactly the measurement that I want, which is 4 inches. If yours is from your shoulder to your upper bust is 5 inches, so that you are going to make it up to 8 inches or 9 inches. So just keep on working with your measurements. Okay, so since I've gotten to the measurements I want from my shoulder to my upper bust, I'm going to continue making from my upper bust down to my under bust. Okay, so since we have 4 inches, we still have 3 more inches to go to get my 10 inches, which I need for my armhole, right? And we are also going to make the neckline, because the neckline which you have here is V neckline, right? So now in this our row 8, we are going to make an increase, which will be giving us the wideness that we want for the which will giving us the wideness that we want for the for us to get the length of our half bust measurement, and also giving us the shape for the V neckline, and giving us the shape for the armhole. So for you to do the next, what you are going to do, you are going to increase. So you are going to increase in this row, which is our row 8. You are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then you turn your work. So remember I said this count as a stitch. Okay, this count as a stitch. You are going to make an increase here. So in that same stitch again, you are going to work in there with your double crochet. This count as an increase. You have already increased. So you are going to put your stitch marker there. So you are going to identify your increase area. So you are increased here. So you keep on working that same stitch again. Then you skip these 3 stitches. Then into that stitch, that chain stitch there, you work in there with your 3 double crochet. That same stitch, no difference. Then you chain 2. After chaining 2, then you work in that same stitch again with your 3 double crochet. That is your self stitch. When you get to your self stitch, you make your self stitch. Then when you get to your double crochet, keep on working with your double crochet. So at the last stitch there, you are going to work in there with your 2 double crochet, which should be your increase also. So you chain 1, you make your double crochet, which is your then your increase. So you're going to make 2 chain at the last stitch. So this is it. So you continue again, chain in your 9th row. You are going to chain. You are going to make chain 3, 1, 2, 3. In this our 9th row, you are not going to increase. Since we increase in our 8th row, your 9th row no increase. 10th row you will increase. 11th row no increase. 12th row you increase. 13th row no increase. That's why you keep on working to get your length. Okay, so in this our 9th row now, we are not going to make an increase. We are going to keep working on that same stitch. So since this counts as your first stitch, you're not going to work in here. So you work in to the next stitch there. So now you're going to have 4 stitch. Remember before at the beginning we are having 3 stitch. So since you are making an increase, you're going to have 4 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that. to 4 stitch here now. Then you skip your 3 stitch, work in your 12 stitch, you skip this, you work in your 3 double crochet here, you skip it, you work your self stitch, you skip, you work a 4 double crochet, because now you're going to have 4 stitches here, 1 2 3 4, work for 4 stitches, and I'll meet you in the next. So to my, this is my 9 row. So your 10th row, you're going to chain 3, 1 2 3. So we make an increase, then no increase, then this way we are going to make increase. Okay, then yarn over, this count as a stitch, so into that same stitch again, you work in there with your double crochet. That is the increase part. Then keep on working your double crochet. And when you get to your stitch, your shell stitch, you make your self stitch, you keep working there with yourself, finish your 3 double crochet, then you chain 2 double crochet, that's yourself. Keep on doing this, you get to the end of the row, then I'll meet you. So here is my last stitch here. So I'm going to work in there with my 2 double crochets for my increase part. 2. So remember, in every of your increase area, you are going to put your stitch marker there. So you identify where your increase is. Okay, so this is it. So in our next row, which should be the row, I think row 12, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, our row 11, no increase. Row 12, you are going to make an increase. Row 13, no increase. Row 14, increase. So you continue making that to get your row 18, and we'll meet you there in my row 18. So I'm done with the 18 rows. So this is the 18 rows. Where the stitch marker is and where my increases are. So I have a total 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 rows of increase, and it mentions 10 inches. You see, it mentions 10. So when you put it on the shell, it's 10 inches, but when it's on the normal stitch, it should be 9 point something. You see, so let's just say 10 inches. So I'm my 10 inches. So I also made the other panel. So the front is going to have 2 panels. You can see that. So where the stitch marker is and where the increases are, and where the stitch marker are not are where the normal stitches are. So this is the increase part, and this is the increase part. So this is my 18 rows, 18 rows. So now we are going to join these both sides together. We're going to join them together. You have already inserted your hook into your yarn. You grab the other side. Make sure that it's at the right side. So this is my right side, and this is also my right side. So check it very well to understand the right side and the wrong side. And pass it between into the first. This is the first. So pull out the loop. Then you slip stitch. You can see that then you make a chain. This is how it looks. Okay, so now you're going to cut off this side. I'm going to cut it off. Okay, so this is already the V that we need. You can see the neckline. This is the neckline, which is 10 inches for the neckline. So this is the neckline. So now I'm going to continue making the down part to get the 13 rows. This is my measurement from my shoulder to my underbust is 13 inches. So we are going to continue making it to get to 13 inches. So you keep on increasing till you get to your half bust measurement. Okay, so for us to continue, you are going to grab your yarn and insert your hook into the stitch here. Insert your hook there, then pull out the loop. So make sure you have a secure thing. Then you make your chain. You chain 3 2 3. So you are going to make an increase here. No, we have already, remember we end it with an increase here. You can remember, so you end it with increase. So in this row we are not going to increase, we're just going to keep making that same stitch, so you continue making your stitches, double crochet till when you get here, you make your shell, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, you continue. So I've already done this side, so I've got it to the middle where we join. So in this way we are going to make another shell here. So this is the joining part. If you join the both panels together, you can see this is where it is. This is the stitch space. So in there we are going to work in there with 3 double crochet to make this shell. Okay, so insert our 8, you make your 1, 2, 2, 3. Then you chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, then into it again, you make your 3 double crochet, 2 and 3. This is your shell. Then you keep on working your normal stitch till you get to the end. So when you get to where your shell is, make your shell until you get to the end. This is how it looks. Okay. So now we are going to continue the next row. So in this next row, we are going to make an increase. So let's see what it measures. So this is like 15 inches. So we still have like 2 more rows to go. So half of my bust divided by 2, so it's giving me 18 inches total. So now we are in 16, I have 2 more inches to go. So we are going to keep on increasing in both sides till you get to your desired measurement. So since we now increase in this row, in this one next we are going to increase. We are going to chain 1, 2, 3. This will be our 90 rows. So in our 20 rows now we are going to chain 1, 2, 3. Then you turn your work. So once you have already turned it, yarn over into that same stitch. You are going to make your crochet because you are going to increase. In that same stitch, you are going to work in there with your double crochet. That is your increase 1. So you keep on working single crochet till you get to the end, and when you get to the end, you make your increase. So wherever you have your shell, you work in there with your shell, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Then keep on working your normal double crochet till you get to the end. In the end, you are going to make an increase. So for you to identify where your increase are and not, you are going to put your stitch marker there. So you know that yes, this is your first increase. So you keep on chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So you keep on doing that till you get to the end. Then I'll meet you. So for my last stitch, I'm going to work in there with 2 double crochet in the last stitch. So this is my last stitch. So I'm going to work in there with my 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet into the same stitch again. That's my 2 double crochet to the bit. Okay, so in this next row we are not going to increase, we're just going to keep on working that same stitch to get to the end. So you're going to keep on doing that. In this row, remember we just increase. So in this row we are going to make now no increase. In the next row you will increase. And in the next row again, you're not going to increase. That's why you keep on making it to get to your desired length. So I'm going to keep on doing that so I get to my 13 inches. Then I'll meet when I'm done. So we are in how many rows now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20. So you're in our 20 rows. So you're 21 no increase. 22, you're going to increase. On doing that, you get your desired length. When I get my length, I'll going to write it. So I'm done, and I've gotten to my 13 inches long, and I have a total rows of 24 rows. When you count it from the beginning, yeah, to down, where I stopped, it gives me 24 rows. And if you should take the measurement, it will give you, so it measures, let's see, from the shoulder to under bust, it measures 13 inches. So it measures 13 inches, and for the bust, half of the bust measurement, which is 18.5, so it measures, 18. You see, 18. If you should stretch it, it will give you 18.5. You see, so which is perfect, which is 18 inches, which is the half of the bust measurement. So this is, so now we are going to move to the back panel. Okay, so for us to make the back panel, so now this is what you are going to do. You are going to take the front panel which we have already made. Okay, then you are going to count the stitch that you have here. At the end of, remember, before we join the both panels, we make a total rows of 18 rows, right? Yeah, I think we make a total rows of 18 rows. So what you are going to do is that you are going to count the stitch you have. So this is where my 18 row is before we join it here. So this is where my 18 rows is, and this is my 19 rows. So in this your 18 rows, you are going to count the stitch you have here like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, sorry, is 9. So I have a total 9 stitches here. Okay, then the shell. So 9 plus the shell stitch making 10. Okay, 10. Then include this 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus this stitch of the shell, that is 14. Then plus this one here, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that means I have a total of 23 stitches here. Then also this place, I'm also going to have 23 stitches here. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Before we start making this down part, we make a total stitch, a total row of 18 rows. So you're going to count the stitch which you have at the 18 rows total. This is my 18 rows here. Then I have 9 here. 9 plus 1, that is 14. Sorry, 9 plus 1, that is 10. Plus 3, that is 13. Plus 1, that is 14. Plus 9, that is 23. So you're going to have 23 here, 23 here. So 23 plus 23 will give you what? It will give you 56, right? 56. They are going to include this stitch here, because for the back panel we are going to have 5 shells. Remember, we have 4 shells at the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get down here, to give you 5 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So that's what we are going to do. We are going to make, since you have 23 here, 23 here, giving you total 56 plus 1 of this stitch of the shell, it will give you 57. So it will be 57 for the back panel. 57 stitch. So for us to do that, we are going to make a chain that will be up to 57. Okay, and if yours is not up to 57, so you are going to count, you are going to make your chain according to the stitch you have here, number of stitch you have at the end of your row. Okay, at the end of the row, before you start making the complete set, because we have, this is our neckline, which is 10 inches. Yes, so which is 10 inches. So you're going to count the stitch you have at the end of your 10 inches. You're going to count it, then you add both sides together, then you're going to add plus this stitch here, because at the back panel you're not going to have this space here, so we're going to include this here. So that means you're going to have 57 in my own. So in yours, it might be different or it might be higher than mine. But just work according to your measurement and according to the stitches you have. Okay, so mine is 57. I'm going to make a chain that will be up to 57 chains. So here is my 57 stitch. So it measures, let's see what is measured. So it measures 13 inches. So remember we are still going to 18. Okay, so let's just have this in mind. That is 13 inches. Why not stretch? Why not stretch? It gives me 13. So when stretched, it will give you 15. You can see. So let's leave it that way. Then you are going to continue working. So this is your 57. You are going to chain 1 to make it 58. Okay, you are going to yarn over. You are going to skip the first stitch, then into the second stitch you work in there with your double crochet. So you are going to make a 9 double crochet. Then I'll meet you 1, 1, 2. So I've gotten to my 9th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is my ninth stitch. So how I got this is this I take. So look at the last row we have, which is our row 19. Sorry, row 18. We have 9 stitches there. Yeah, you have 9 stitches here, right? Then the next you are going to skip and make your shell, then your 3 double crochet, then your shell. So that is according to what we have here. That is what we are working for here. So that we are going to have a perfect stitch. It will be exactly this way. So let's keep working. You will understand. So now we have 9. We have 9 here. Then you are going to chain 1. Okay. Then you skip a stitch. Then into the second stitch there, you work in there with your 3 double crochet, which should be your shell. Okay, this is your 2. Then the next will be what? 3. You see? Then chain to 1, 2. Then work in there with your 3 double crochet again. So once you have done that, you are going to chain 1, then yarn over, you skip a stitch, then into the next there you work in there with your 3 double crochet. Keep it. So continue making your double crochet. This is 1. So in this place you are going to have 3 double crochet, 2, then here 3. You see that? Then you are going to chain. You are going to have the next shell. You're just going to keep working according to what we have here. So after your 9, you have already made the first shell. You make 3, then you move into the next shell here. Okay. Then I'm going to skip. Then the next, I'm going to work in there with my shell, which is my 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet. I've made like 2 shells, which is on the first panel. So I've already made the 2 shells here. Okay. Then the next you are going to have 9. So we made the first shell, then the second shell. Then the next you are going to have 9 stitches. Look at it here. We have this. We have 9 stitches here, right? Then we have the shell. We have the 3. Then the shell. Then you are going to have the next 9 double crochet. So this is what I'm going to do next. So you have the 9 double crochet. So I have my 9. Then you're going to chain 1. Then you skip a stitch into the next, working with your 3 double crochet. Make your shell by working 3 double crochet, chain to the 3 double crochet. So I've made the shell. Then you skip, you chain, sorry, after chaining you skip into the next, you work in there with your 9 double crochet. I've made my 9. So you see exactly what we have here. So what we have here is also what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is the 9th stitch, and we are going to have the shell. Okay, then after that you repeat it again. So that is what we are doing. So now I've already done my 9. Then you are going to make your chain, yarn over, you skip into the next thing, then you make your shell, which is your 3 double crochet, chain 3 double crochet in the same stitch there. My 9th stitch, my 9th stitch. So this is it. So exactly what we have at the front. So know that the front panel we have 5 shell, 1 2 3 4 5, right? So 5 shell. Then at the back we're also going to have the same 1 2 3 4 5. Going to move to the next row, which will be our row 2. We are going to chain 3, 1 2 3, yarn over. So remember that this is stitch, this counts as a stitch. Okay, then you move to the next stitch here, you work in there with your double crochet. So continue working there to get your 9 double crochet. This is your 2 and 3. So I have my 9 stitch here. So you yarn over, you move into the shell, you make your shell 2, 3, you chain 2, 1 2, make your 3 double crochet in that same stitch again, 2, then your 3. So you yarn over, no skipping, sorry, no chaining, you skip this, you work your 3 double crochet, you work into your shell. So you continue doing that till you get to the end of the row. So that is how you continue making it that same stitch, repeating it till you get to row 18. No increases. Okay, keep on working it till you get to your row 18. Okay, no increases, no decreases, just keep on working that same stitch in same row, in all the rows, sorry, that same stitch in all the rows to get your row 18. So when I get my row 18, I'll meet you right there. So here is my 18 rows. This is my 18 rows. I have 6 more rows to go to make it 24 rows. So in these 6 rows that we have to make, it's going to be increase, and the next row no increase. So that's what we are going to do. So for you to do that, you are going to chain 3, then you turn your work 1 2 3, and after chaining you turn your work. So once I've already turned your work, you make an increase here, yarn over into the first stitch here, you work in there with your double crochet. That is your increase of 1. Okay, so you keep on working single crochet to get to the end, second to the last, yeah, you get the last row. Okay, keep on working this same stitch to get to the last row here, and you make your increase there. You work in 2 double crochet in the last stitch there. That is your increase. The increase there, the increase you're going to have here, and the increase you're going to have here. So when you get your shell, you make your shell, which is 2 double crochet, 2 double crochet. You continue working that. This is where you're going to make your next increase. Since you have already done your first increase here, you're going to make your second increase there. So for you to always remember where your increases are, you're going to put your stitch marker there so you identify it. So this is my first increase. So you keep on working to get to the end. Here is my last stitch now. I'm going to work in there with my 2 double crochet. This should be my increase. So this is my last stitch. 1 double crochet, and this is my increase double crochet. This is 1 double crochet. So this is my first increase, because we are going to work 6 rows of increase and no increase. So this is the first row of increase. Then the next row, you're not going to make an increase, you're just going to keep on working that same stitch you have. Okay, so you chain to the 1 2 3, and you turn your work, you keep on working double crochet. When you have your shell, you make your shell. When you have your double crochet, make your double crochet. So that's how you keep on working there to get to the end. And to the next row, you are going to make an increase. The other row, you're not going to make an increase. So you keep on working that way to make your 6 rows, you have 3 rows of increases and 3 rows of no increases. That will give you your 6 rows. So when I get there, I'll meet you. Now with the 6th row, so this is where the first row is, which is the first row of increase. No increase, increase, no increase, increase, no increase. So 3 rows of increase and 3 rows of no increase. That is 6 rows. So in total, we are going to have 24 rows. 24 rows in total. And this is the front panel. This is the back panel. So this is the back panel and this is the front panel. So you can see. So now we are going to join the both sides together, like this side and this side. So we're also going to add um, this elastic band to it. So before we start adding, because when we join this both sides, we are going to make another row, which is 4 rows, so that we are going to use it to cover this elastic band. So let's take the measurement, so we are going to know how many rows are going to be in total. So let me take the measurement. It measures 1 inches. Okay, so let me say we want to cover the elastic band, so it's going to take us 2 inches for us to make the total length to cover it. So we are going to make 2 inches of extra width. So we are going to cover this. I don't know if you understand, but I'm sure you understand. So now for us to join the panel, we are going to look for the wrong side and the right side. I think this is my wrong side and this is my right side. Okay, and for the back panel, this is my wrong side and this is my right side. So you are going to look for your right side and your wrong side. So this is my right side and this is the wrong side. So the both wrong side and wrong side are going to face each other. Okay, so I'm going to pass it this way. Then you are going to remove your stitch marker. Okay, remove your stitch marker. So after that, we are going to this is your yarn. We are going to pass it to the first stitch of the front panel. Okay, and pass it into the first stitch. You work in the ring, you slip stitch, you slip stitch. So once you are done that, you change to the 1, 2, 3. So you are going to keep on working. You are going to keep on working double crochet in each stitch, and when you have your shelf, you make your shelf. So before we start making our double crochet in each stitch, so you have to join these stitches together. Okay, before that, so you are going to grab your yarn, then you are going to join these both sides together. So this is what I do. I don't want to cut it. I don't want to cut off the yarn because I'm still having a long stitch. So you can take an extra yarn. Once you have already joined this side, then you move to this side, then you join this other side. Insert your hook into the first stitch here, then into this stitch here, and pull out the loop to slip stitch. Okay, so once you have done that, you secure it too well. So you have already done this side. You keep on working your stitch to get to that row. So yarn over. So this cut as the first, this cut as first stitch, and work into the second stitch there, and keep on working your stitch to get to the end of the row. So I've gotten to the end of it. so to the end of the front panel, see, and this is the space where we sleep stitch. So I'm going to yarn over. So this is the stitch where we slip stitch with this, right? You can see. I'm going to walk into it between this and this. You can see. I'm going to pull out in. I'm going to move this in. You can see that. So you keep on working your normal stitch. You get to the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end. So you're almost at the end of the panel. So I'm having the last stitch here. So I'm not going to work into this stitch because this at each this and this are one stitch, and this is the stitch here. So I'm going to single crochet into the, sorry, I'm going to slip stitch. It's called slip stitch here. As you see, so we are going to chain 1, 2, 3. So this is how it looks. You can see. So you're going to keep on walking around, no increase, no decrease. Just keep on working that stitch that you have till you get to the length of what we have here. Remember when I take the measurement, it gives me 1 inches. So because of I want it to wrap, because I'm going to close this with this, so I'm going to work this stitch. So I got to row 2. Okay. Remember this is where it starts. It starts from this stitch here. So from this stitch, you can put your stitch marker there so you'll be able to remember where your first stitch is. Your first stitch which are going to need for 2 inches. So this is the first stitch. Sorry, the first row. Okay, this is the first row. So you're going to keep on working to get to 2 inches. And also, if the elastic that you are using is not as big as this, if it's those ones that used to be tiny like this, let's divide this by 2. That one that's so tiny like this, and if you want to, you can just like take the measurement also and do something like this, or you just place it this way and just make a single crochet round. Okay, just work it this way. Let's assume that, so let's assume this is tiny. This is the half of this that we have. If you are using something like this, let's assume this is the half of it that you have. You can just put it this way and keep on working your single, sorry, your half double crochet just to cover the yarn this way, and you cover it just as this is bigger. So just keep on working on it till you got it round these stitches. So for this, you are going to keep on working this stitch to get to 2 inches. Then I'll meet you when I got my 2 inches. Then I'll tell you how many rows I did in total. So I'm done working for the 2 inches. So I have a total rows of 4 rows for the 2 inches. So this is where it starts. I put my stitch marker there so I can able to identify where my first row is for the 2 inches we are working for. And give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rows for it. So give me 4 rows for it. Just measures 2 inches. You see that measure 2 inches, so which is perfect for what I'm looking for the space for the elastic band. So now you're going to turn it to the wrong side. Turn it to the wrong side. So once you are done that, you are going to fold it. So let's say this is where my first row is. You are going to fold it from here to where the first stitch is. This way, you see. So you are going to fold it round. So you fold it round this way, then you take your needle and your yarn, because you're going to use it to sew it round. So you're going to pass your yarn into your needle. So I've already done mine. So you're going to secure the knot. So secure the ring. Sew it round. So don't forget, this is where the first row is. This is here. We are going to hold it to that first row there. Yes, you see, you hold it in. Then you need to sew it. And then make sure it doesn't shift from the row. Just keep on doing this way. Okay, or you pass it this way. Or you keep doing it this way. This way. Front, back, be bringing it in, then bringing it out. So you see, so you continue doing that to round the panel. So it's better you pass your elastic band into it this way, so it will be easy for you to sew it round. So you continue. You can see I'm not sewing it on the elastic. It's not on the elastic. You can see the parts. So you continue that way to get to the end. This can be the right side. Okay. So this is the wrong side that we turn it to. Then we just have to make sure you get the perfect waist you want. So this is my size. I'm going to sew it back before cutting it up. I'm going to make use of thread, the same color of this, or you can make use of white thread. You don't use whatever you choose, but I didn't have white, so I have this color, so I will make use of this. Already inside the thread to the edge, so I'm going to use it to. So you cut it off when you are done. Make sure you secure this so well. You secure it so well. Then you cut it off. Then you cut off this excess. So then you are going to sew this, cover it all up. Exactly the way you have been doing to this extent, so you close it up. Close it all up. I'm going to make sure that it's secure so well by passing the hook into all the fish. So once I know that I've noted that it's secure enough, I will cut it off. So this is then you turn it to the right side. You can see. So this is the right side, this is how it is. So this is the time for us to join the shoulder part. So you're going to turn it to the wrong side again. So before doing that, once I've already turned it to the wrong side, you place it so well. So make sure you have the equal part. So this is the first stitch there. And this, you make sure that your stitch marker is there to hold it down. And bring it to this side. So make sure that you place yours very well. This is the right part. Then you put your stitch marker to hold it down. See? You can see. So exactly what you have here, you have it here. So for you to join it, grab your hook, the same hook size, and your yarn. So you move your stitch marker, insert your hook, then you move your stitch marker and into the one, and you chain. Then you begin to single crochet in all the stitch there. Single crochet to join it. You continue doing that to get to the last stitch there. You are going to start making the down part, which should be from the lower bust to the knee or your desired length. See this way. So look at this stitch here, then the one that is inside. So you start from that is inside. So let's start from this side. Okay, so I'm going to take a loop from here, a stitch from here. So I'm going to start with this stitch, then grab your yarn, then put through, then you make your chain three, chain three. So you chain three, one, two, two, then three. So then you keep on working your double using the back loop. So the stitch that inside, so not this at the top, this at the back, you can see. So after this is the next stitch there, you yarn over, you insert it into the next stitch. You can see that. Then pull through, make a double crochet. So you keep using your stitch, the inner stitch, keep on working your double crochet to get to the end. So you keep on working double crochet in each of the back stitch. Whenever I get to where your shelf is, your shelf stitch is, you just have to pass it this way. You make your double crochet, yarn over. So this is the next, make your double crochet. So that's it. Then keep on working your double crochet in each stitch to get to the end. Last stitch, so I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch there. So slip stitch here. So this is it. These are for 40. So now you're going to chain three. I already chain one, two, three. So you keep on working double crochet in each stitch till you get to your desired length. no increase, just keep on working double crochet in all the stitches to get your desired length. And when I get mine, I'll let you know how many rows I did in total and how many length it is. So since the length I'm working for is 34 inches long, so since I'm working for 34 inches long, so I make it up to 28 inches, like from the shoulder parts, to down here is 28 inches long. So we have 6 more inches to go to make it 34, right? So um in the remaining inches that is left for us to get to 34, we are going to switch to another pattern, which is doing the same pattern at the lower part of it. Okay, so continue that pattern till we get to row to six to sorry to 34 inches. So continue to get to 34 inches. So because 34 inches is from my shoulder to my nail, so you can do it longer or shorter than mine. So mine is 34, so this is my 28. So I'm going to make this next row. I'll continue making this pattern that I'm about to make now till I get to my 34 inches long. So for us to start that next design or pattern, whichever way you want it, so we are going to so what we are going to do right now is we're going to chain 3. I've already chained 3, so we count 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15. So I have my 15 double crochet here, so I'm going to make that self stitch we have been making from the beginning. So I'm going to make it here, just yarn over, you skip a stitch, then into the next stitch you work in there with your self stitch, which is your 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So that's it. Then yarn over, you skip, then into the next you continue making your 15 double crochet again till you get to your 15 again, you make your self stitch. This 3, 14, then 15. Same what you did there, you do it again. You skip this stitch, then into the next you make your self stitch, 3 double crochet in a stitch, then chain 2, then 3 double crochet in that same stitch again. Then you skip this, then into the next you continue your 15 double crochet. So that's how you continue making 15 double crochet. After 15 double crochet, you skip a stitch, you work your self stitch, then you skip a stitch again, you continue making your 15 double crochet. That's how you make it till you get to the end of the row. Then I'll meet you when I'm done. At the last stitch, and I ended with the shell stitch. I'm going to slip stitch into the stitch. This first stitch here, I'll slip stitch here. So this I see. After 15 double crochet, you make your shell, you skip. So that's what I did round it. So we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So here is my 30 rows, because this is 29 rows from my waist, from the lower bust to my knee to my length, which is 28 inches, is 29 rows, and this is my 30 rows. Then the 31 rows, this one I'm going to do the 31 rows, yarn over. So you keep on working double crochet in each stitch until you get to your self stitch, then you make your self stitch. According to my self stitch, yarn over, you're going to skip this 3 stitch, then working with your self stitch again, 3 double crochet in this space, 2, then 3, chain 2, 1, 2, work in again, make your 3 double crochet in that same stitch. So this is, then you continue, you skip this 3, you work your double crochet. So you keep on working this same, repeating the same pattern, this same stitch till you get to your desired length. So I'll keep on working this stitch in this same stitch, same pattern, till I get to row 34. Till I get, sorry, till I get to my length, which is 34 inches long. So this is 34 inches long. So when I'm done, I'll tell you how many rows I did in total. So this 39 rows for my waistband under bust to my till this length where I am now, which is 29 inches. So it's 32 rows. So I'll keep on working this same pattern until I get to my 34 inches long. So for the last stitch, which will always be my shell stitch, so I've already done my self stitch, so I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch here, and that is the end, which is my last stitch which I have to make, which is the length is 34 inches long. So it's because I'm not sure, maybe you can see the full body of the clothes, you can see the brown part. These are the looks. You see total rows which I have from the waist part, from here to down, is 41 rows. So 41 rows. Then from my shoulder part, from my shoulder to the hand here, which is my knee, is 34 inches long. So this is the final look. So don't forget to like, comment and share, okay, and follow me for more videos.